Hello everyone, I'm AT Storm Track meteorologist Austin Haskins. We had a few showers track through the area during the afternoon and evening hours on our Thursday, but as was expected, they were mostly light in nature and really didn't bring much accumulation to the area, at most just a couple hundredths of an inch. But today, it is going to be very warm, it is going to be steamy, those dew points climbing up into the low, if not mid 70s, and we're still tracking periods of rain and storms starting tonight and lasting all the way through at least Monday night of next week. And this weekend, we have a threat for heavy rain and even a few strong to severe storms as well. So we have a cold front out to the west today and a warm front to the south and west. This cold front will be the focal point for our shower and storm chances to start developing as we get towards this evening. The question is, though, is how exactly this is going to play out, because we still might have that warmer layer of air aloft, or what's called the cap essentially, and that might hold long enough to where we don't see much activity in the evening. But we are going to have sufficient moisture. There's going to be just enough wind shear available, and the nighttime lower level jet is going to start kicking in, and that could allow that cap to break and allow for storms to develop. So anytime after about 5 or 6 o'clock today, we'll need to watch the radar for those storms to develop. And then we'll have multiple waves of showers and storms tracking through during the overnight hours into tomorrow morning. Now, this run of future track here, and you'll see a closer look in our area coming up, showing the heaviest of the rain falling from the Brainerd Lakes area through the Twin Cities down to La Crosse and the southwestern parts of our area. Then as we go into Saturday, the cold front kind of moves away essentially and turns into more of a stationary boundary, which will then allow for more showers and storms to develop for late Saturday night into Sunday, and we'll see periods of showers and storms around throughout the day Sunday and even into Sunday night as well. So here's a closer look. This is the graph model. Again, you can see showers and storms. Not really expecting much during the day today, but as you'll see, we'll start to see some development here as we get towards that early to mid-evening time frame. And then you can see the bulk of the showers and the storms staying out to the south and west of really Highway 12 for the most part is kind of where most of the rain will be. At least this run of future track is hinting at that. There are signs, though, that Saturday afternoon and Saturday evening will be a little bit drier. Still might have a few showers and storms around, but the coverage is going to decrease at least for a short time, and then it'll start to pick back up again as we get into Saturday late in the nighttime hours into Sunday, and we'll just see periods of showers and storms with, again, the threat for heavy rainfall continuing throughout the day Sunday into Sunday night. Here's the HRRR model. This is showing a little bit of a different look, but kind of the same idea for the most part. So we will actually see the shower and storm chances move in kind of about the same time, at least it's what it's showing. And you can see this one is kind of riding the 2994 corridor in areas to the south with maybe some scattered activity north of there. But quiets down overnight, then look what happens by tomorrow morning. This one is showing a pretty good line of heavy rain and storms, maybe some wind with this as well coming through. You can see how that line was kind of showing that little bit of that backward C shape. So that indicates potentially some wind with that line of storms, and then maybe some isolated showers and storms south and east of the Chippewa River Saturday afternoon. So the boundary position is going to be very key here with the forecast for the next couple of days in determining where the better coverage of showers and storms will be, but also where the heaviest rainfall can very well occur. So let's take a look at a couple of the different models, and this is for Eau Claire, so the numbers are going to obviously vary from location to location, but just looking at Eau Claire, and this is over the next roughly 48 hours, so this only goes through Sunday morning, but you can see most of the data is suggesting 1 to 2 inches of rain. The European model is going a little bit higher, closer to 2.8 inches, and when you look at the range of the models in general all the way through Monday, the European model was printing out at times over 4 to 5 inches of rain for Eau Claire. Now, that doesn't mean Eau Claire itself is going to see that much rain, but where the heavier bands of rain do set up, there is a possibility we could see 4+ inches of rain with this. And when you look at the Weather Prediction Center's outlook, it kind of shows a similar picture. You're looking at totals in that 1.5 to 3 inch range with some isolated higher totals in there. But as I've mentioned before, and this will be the case throughout this forecast, where that boundary sets up is going to be the biggest thing, because also precipitable water values are going to be very high, and that means that any showers and storms that track through could very well be efficient rain producers, meaning we could get a lot of rain in a short amount of time. So something to kind of keep in mind. So my forecast, and this goes from 6 p.m. tonight through 6 a.m. Tuesday. I know it's a long range, but we're going for the entire duration of the rain chances. And I'm thinking anywhere from a ½ inch to 2.5 inches. But on the high end, as I mentioned, 4 inches or more in localized areas can't be ruled out, and that could lead to some areas of flooding. So if you encounter any water over the roadways, be sure to turn around and find an alternative route. The saying that we use is turn around, don't drown, because it's not going to take much water to cause some issues on the roadways, and especially if it rains hard enough where a road could wash out, you're not going to have any idea. So it is very important that if you see water over the roadways to try to not drive through it. As a reminder, you can go to our website, WQOW.com, and search Severe Weather Awareness Week, and you can read more about flooding topics just in case you need a reminder for that. We also have the possibility, on top of all that, of seeing some severe weather as well. Now, of course, this is going to be conditional because of that cap holding and how the atmosphere kind of plays out. But there's going to be enough ingredients to at least support some severe weather potential. Right now, the latest outlook as of 7 a.m. on our Friday has a level 2 risk in place for all of western Wisconsin, and it does include an all hazards threat. The tornado threat is very low, as you can see here, so we can't rule it out, but it's a very low chance. There could be some hail that could be up to golf ball size, and that'll be initially with maybe any storms that develop early in the evening. Also damaging winds that could be upwards of 70 to 75 miles per hour. And when you look at these probabilities, the hail and wind threat, it's a medium chance. So it's a 15% chance within 25 miles of a given point. And then the tornado risk, that's a 2% chance of a tornado within 25 miles of a given point. So it's on the lower end of the scale, but certainly we cannot rule it out. Especially within a line of storms, you can get those little brief spin-up tornadoes, and that is certainly not out of the question, but again, it's a very low chance. For tomorrow, it is a marginal risk, a level 1 out of 5 for all of western Wisconsin. Once again, the main hazards looks to be damaging wind and some hail as well, though I don't think we're going to see much of a tornado threat tomorrow, if anything. The question is, though, is if we don't see anything tonight in terms of strong to severe storms or much thunderstorm activity, the severe weather threat could very well increase for tomorrow. So that's another thing we have to watch. And then on Sunday, we have a marginal risk in the areas in green. So that encompasses areas from New Richmond to near Chippewa Falls down to Neillsville south and west for some hail and some damaging wind gusts as well. So the latest details, again, showers and thunderstorms returning tonight through Monday night with breaks. Heavy rain and a severe weather threat are both possible, but again, questions do remain, and of course, the position of that boundary is going to be key, along with any other little subtle features that might ride along that boundary. So a lot of moving parts with this forecast, so please stay with us for updates on air, online, and you can download the 18 Storm Track weather app as well, and that is free to download. So very quickly, too, I want to talk about the heat and the humidity for today as well. I haven't covered it much, but we'll talk about it here very quickly. So we're looking at highs today in the upper 80s for Eau Claire. Dew points in the mid 70s could push the heat index as high as about 96 to 99 degrees. That is below advisory threshold, but certainly be cautious if you're going to be outdoors with the heat. Now tomorrow, though, it won't be as bad because temperatures are going to only be in the lower part of the 80s, but dew points will still be very high. So the heat index could peak in the mid to maybe upper 80s. If we see a little more sunshine in the afternoon, we could be slightly warmer, thus the heat index will be a little bit higher as well. And then we're just sitting in the mid 70s on Sunday. Again, we're going to be just north of that boundary or near it, so we'll be slightly cooler, and then we're back to 80 on Monday. Still humid into Tuesday of next week with maybe a few showers lingering, but then Wednesday and Thursday we dry out a little bit, though it'll still be just a touch on the humid side.